Hi, boys and girls. We're going to continue with Coach Hyatt is a Riot, Chapter 8, the first half. It was time for the coin toss to decide which team would kick off. Me and Ryan are captains of the Moose, so we ran out to the middle of the field. So did two of the Sharks. The ref told us to shake hands. One of the Sharks grabbed my hand. He didn't just shake it like a normal person. He started squeezing, so I squeezed back, and then he squeezed harder, and it was really hurting. I thought I was going to die, but just before my fingers crushed, the shark let go. Ugh! I eat shrimp like you for breakfast. So's your face, I replied, because I couldn't think of anything else to say. The ref tossed the coin up, and I called heads. Tails, yelled the ref. Bummer in the summer. We had to kick off. Our team got into position. Ryan put the ball on the tee. All the grown-ups in the bleachers started cheering, and the ref blew his whistle. Ryan kicked off. It was a pretty good kick, too. We all ran down the field to tackle the shark who had picked up the ball. The only problem was they were giant sharks running all over the place. One of them knocked Michael on his butt. One of them knocked Ryan on his butt. One of them knocked me on my butt. They were knocking all of us on our butts. Run for your lives, yelled Neil, the new kid. When I looked up from the ground, the sharks were in the end zone, dancing and high-fiving each other. Shark 6, Moose 0. That's all right. That's okay. We're going to win. We're going to win it anyway. Go Moose. The Sharks made the extra point and kicked off to us. Ryan picked up the ball, but before he could take a step, he was knocked on his butt by some giant shark. Michael fumbled the ball, and the next thing we knew, the Sharks were dancing and high-fiving each other again in the end zone. Sharks 13, Moose 0. That's all right. That's okay. We're going to win next Saturday. Go Moose. You don't need to hear all the gory details of what happened in the first half, but whenever the Sharks had the ball, they ran right over us like we were made of tissue paper and knocked us on our butts. Whenever we had the ball, they knocked us on our butts and took the ball away. It wasn't a pretty sight. It's okay that we're not great. At least we all participate. Go Moose. What a lame cheer. Andrew and your friends were no help at all. Cheerleaders weren't looking very cheery. Wyatt was useless. All he ever did was stand around and pick his nose. And having Rufus the doofus floating over the field wasn't doing us any good either. Finally, the clock ran out. It was halftime. We had played 2 quarters, but it felt like a million. Our team was staggering all over the field. I was still on my hands and knees in the dirt after the last shark touchdown. Hey, loser, one of the sharks said to me on his way to the locker room. Where'd you get that lame moose? Rent a blimp. I told him. The halftime score was Sharks 77, Moose 0. Chapter 9, halftime. We were all trudging into the locker room like zombies. We were tired, sore, dirty, depressed, and it looked more like a hospital than a locker room. Hyatt was lying on the floor picking his nose. I think I'm going to die, I announced as I plopped down on a bench. Can we go home now? Asked Neil, the new kid. Coach Hyatt blew her whistle. Okay, she barked. Listen up. All you ragamuffins, gather around and take a knee. Take a knee, I asked. Why should I take a knee? Where do I get a knee to take? Asked Ryan. And where should I take it? What if somebody is using their knee and can't loan it to me? Asked Michael. I can't take my own knee, said Neil. I need it. Whose knee should I take? Kneel down, boys, said Coach Hyatt. Oh, we're only behind by 77 points, the coach told us. There's still a lot of football to be played. Plenty of time to catch up, everybody groaned. Can't we just forfeit the game, Coach? I asked. Forfeit? Coach Hyatt barked. When I was your age, my team was behind by 77 points. Do you know what I would do? What? We all asked. I built a log cabin with my bare hands. Why would you do that? Asked Ryan. But Coach Hyatt wasn't listening. She was picking up a clipboard and pacing back and forth across the locker room. I could tell she was going to give us a pep talk. Coaches always pace back and forth and give you pep talks when your team is losing. It's the first rule of being a coach. I want to ask you ragamuffins a question, Coach Hyatt said. What's a 10-letter word that means first president? Washington, we all shouted. Right. The coach wrote something on her clipboard. What does that have to do with football? I asked. Nothing, Coach replied. I'm working on a crossword puzzle. She started pacing back and forth. How many states are there? She asked. 50, we all shouted. Right. How many cents are in 2 quarters? Asked Coach Hyatt. 50, we all shouted. Right. And that's half of 100, said Coach Hyatt. 50, we all shouted. What does that have to do with football? Nothing, she said. 50 is my favorite number. The point is, the game is half over. That's 50%, so we've got 50% left. The Sharks had their half. Now it's time for our half. But we're getting killed out there, Coach, Michael said. Don't worry, Coach Hyatt told us. I have a plan. A plan? What plan does she possibly have? We were behind by 77 points. It's time to bring out the secret weapon, Coach Hyatt said. She went over to the locker room door. She put her hand on the doorknob, and you'll never believe in 100 years who walked into the door at that moment. Nobody, because if you walked into a door, it would hurt. But you'll never believe who walked into the doorway. I'm not going to tell you. Okay, I'll tell you. But you have to read the next chapter. So nanny boo-boo on you. Chapter 10, Our Secret Weapon. It was Andrea Young. Little Miss Perfect, I know everything you don't, walked into our locker room, and she was wearing a football uniform. There's a girl in the locker room, shouted Neil, the new kid. Run for your lives! Coach Hyatt's a girl too, dumbhead, I told Neil. Oh, right. Hi, Arlo, Andrea said. What are you doing here? I asked her. Coach Hyatt asked me to join the team because you boys are so lame, she told me. I wasn't allowed to wear my jewelry, so I accessorized by my helmet with stickers. Do you like it? No, I told her, and girls don't play football. I've been watching Andrea on the sidelines, Coach Hyatt told us. I think she can help us. She's fast, she's strong, she's smart. And she's annoying, I added. Do you want to win, AJ? Coach Hyatt said, or do you just want to complain? Can I do both? I asked. Coach Hyatt paced the locker room again. Do you ragamuffins know what I used to do when I was your age? Asked the coach. A log cabin, I guess. No, a hamster, she said. His name was Chip. I love that hamster. And one day Chip got run over by a bulldozer. Poor little fella. He didn't have a chance. Chip was flattened. After the bulldozer ran over him, he was about the size of a living room rug. Everybody started sniffling because we were imagining in our heads a hamster getting run over by a bulldozer. When you kids get on the field for the second half, the coach continued, don't think about winning this game for me. Don't think about winning this game for your parents. Think about Chip. That poor little hamster. Let's go out there and win this one for the Chipper. I wasn't sure why we should play any better just because Coach Hyatt's hamster got run over by a bulldozer, but it almost didn't matter what she said because we all jumped up and down, chanting and yelling, Chipper, 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 as we ran out of the locker room to start the second half of the game.